Susan Ormistan has been one of our lead reporters on this story. She was there at the airport when Rahaf made that dramatic arrival. Let's talk about the Trudeau government and their decision to bring this young woman in. Getting praise from many, but criticism from others. What could be the possible repercussions of this decision?
Well, what we saw this morning is we weren't sure whether or not the government would be present with this young woman, how much of a media opportunity there would be, and clearly the Minister of Foreign Affairs came out with her and made a very public stand that this government is standing behind human rights and will support women's rights in this situation and supported the United Nations. Let's hear what Chrystia Freeland said about that.
UNHCR was looking very urgently for a place where she could find asylum. We were involved in those conversations, as were other countries, and Canada was glad that we were able to act quickly and to offer refuge to a refugee at the request of UNHCR, and to offer refuge to a person whose life was in danger.
So what we're hearing there is they accepted the UNHCR's recommendation that she was in danger and that set up this motion. But, of course, the critics are saying, first of all, maybe go ahead and make this offer to this young woman, but don't turn it into a political photo op, which some are suggesting today that occurred. We do know that the government would like to make a bigger play at the United Nations and perhaps get a seat on the Security Council, so this may have worked into this decision as well. And it's also very unusual to see it happen so fast. And of course, we know in the past few months there has been a lot of controversy between Canada and Saudi Arabia over their relations. This will undoubtedly not improve that situation.
Certainly. But on the refugee front, the nature with which this particular story unfolded, is your sense that perhaps this might open the doorway for many other refugees to use this type of experience to try and come to Canada?
You know, what's extraordinary and what I've been finding covering the refugees in the last couple of years is the many ways that they are attempting to change their circumstance. This is another one. And yes, there's no doubt that this woman's story will inspire other people, other women, other people who believe they are in insecure situations to try to change their circumstance. Now, UNHCR says they're prepared for that. In fact, they've had a few questions from women now saying, can we go forward in this fashion? Social media, using social media as a way to get attention. It was a huge risk on this young woman's part. It may not have worked, and she made herself public, adding to the security concerns around her. But I think that it's very interesting to see, again, that the evolution of desperate people wanting to get out of their countries. What we don't know yet is exactly what she fled from. What were the exact circumstances of her restrictions or the threats made on her, because we haven't heard from her herself yet.
And certainly the world is waiting to hear from her. Thank you so much, Susan. CBC's Susan Ormistan.